FX story of reggae music. I tell you, there's also a story of reggae music going on over at the Broward Mall, Island. Oh man, I have their information. I'm gonna talk about them a little bit later. Also gonna have a call in later at about 8:45. Getting a call from Japan, and we're gonna hear from a Jamaican in Japan sharing her experience and what's going on with her there. Right now, I want to tell John FX, big up man, great song, Rude Boy, love it. I was a rude boy. Yeah?
Was.
Wait. Come on.
What does rude boy mean?
I don't know.
Good morning, everybody, by the way. What does it mean?
I don't know what a rude boy is. A rude boy is a guy who gets into trouble on the
that
street
kind
a
of
lot.
rude.
What kind of rude?
Shut up. Don't talk. Not that rude.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, the rude.
Yeah, man. Rudy.
I don't think you were that rude boy.
No?
It would be so hard to imagine. You're so intellectual.
Then you think rude boy is not intellectual?
I have never met one, so...
No. This is the thing. I was talking to my cousin in Jamaica, and I was telling her about some project, and she said, well, those thugs. And I said, thugs? No. You don't know how much you can connect with thugs, And you work with thugs all the time.
I do?
They're just not thugs around you.
Okay, well, I didn't know, but...
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're right. People have different shades.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, this morning, Vanya, you have had a busy... Well, when have you never had a busy week?
Well, you were with me neck to neck this whole week. Guys, we have worked like 18, 19 hours. From 6...
18, 19 hours per day, you mean?
Per day.
Oh, no, for the whole week.
No, that's your typical week. But and then in my sleep, I was working on some stuff. And I'm like, give yourself a break. I actually was dreaming about finishing some projects. But lots going on. Lots going on.
So here's where we are. I feel like, there is our life, our clients, and then the rest of the world. That I'm watching people on YouTube and on TikTok and on Facebook. Talking about, no houses available, prices are crashing, and a whole different experience versus what we're seeing in terms of, transactions closing, people searching for homes, knowing what they want, going out and finding it, and just working. And today, we want to talk to those people who might be struggling with real estate. Maybe you have a property, maybe there's something wrong with that property, it needs some work. Maybe there's a legal situation, there's a family situation. We would love to invite you to, let's at least have a conversation about it.
Absolutely. We have like the team of attorneys that we work with who are very savvy in different such things. If you're dealing with whether it's an estate, whether it is any other issue. Dax, there's one thing we never talk about. When we start working on transactions, there are so many times the title search comes back with so many liens and code violations.
Right.
And I would say 8 out of 10 times the homeowner doesn't even know about them.
Absolutely.
Especially the elderly folks, because they'll just give you 1 letter, 2 letters, and then they just sit on it. And through the title search, sometimes those fines are in thousands of dollars. And we jump in, we understand the paperwork, we know what city wants to hear. And in every case, there's a considerable, either they're removed, waived, or they say, okay, well, all you had to do was just...
negotiating.
Yeah, just don't park your cars here and we'll, But those are the things, guys, that push people ultimately to get rid of their assets, that they either sell them away, just give them away, or sell for no reason while, they could have very well kept it for their family.
Right. So, if you're sitting out there this morning, you're listening to Wire Funding, what we're sponsored by IBI, UBU.me Global Ministries, and IBI UBU is a non-profit that we developed specifically to help people who are struggling in the South Florida area. In fact, we're not only working with people in the South Florida area Today, our projects are based on the South Florida area and focused on real estate, but we're working with people all over the world. We have a band in the Philippines that we've been supporting. We have, our staff and our team in the Philippines. We have lots of different projects that we're developing, but the most important thing for you listening on WAVS this morning is that we are here in South Florida. We have the experience. We have a team of expert advisors. I was talking to my son just 2 days ago, and he said, Dad, you and Vanya should do a program and sell it on the internet. There are people who pay $20,000 for your expertise to learn. And I'm like, really? I give it away every week on the radio.
To the right people.
To the right people. And I'm telling you, I may even take him up on the idea, because there's somebody out there who is willing to pay. I have the information. I'm confident that I'm giving thousands of dollars worth of information. But when I said everything that you get for free, you don't value it. We are sitting here every morning explaining to you that in South Florida, real estate is doing very well. In South Florida, in the United States, I believe real estate will continue to do very well, and that yes, there may be adjustments in the market. Prices go up, prices go down. But in the long term, based on the inflation that we're going to see because of what's happened to the US dollar, I am guaranteed, I can't guarantee you anything. I can say to you, the work has been done to drive inflation up. This is not happening accidentally. This is the intention of the powers that be to devalue the dollar by creating more printing money, devalues the dollar, and therefore causes inflation. What happens is that real assets will continue to rise. So food, that's a real asset. If somebody had to grow that food, somebody had to, plant a house, somebody had to build that building, somebody had to buy the material.
Kind of real estate. Yeah.
All of the real estate. Well, no, there's an idea that in commercial real estate, we may see some correction. And that's likely because those buildings will be bought, repurposed at lower prices.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. The apartments with the shopping complexes below them.
Right. Right.
And all these malls that they're getting rid of.
Yeah. If you're listening this morning and you have a personal situation and you think we may be able to help you, you can reach us directly. 954-866-2171. Again, that's 954-866-2171. All week, Vanya, we've been talking about what we're going to talk about on the show today. There was a statement about loving people and using things rather than using people and loving things.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So which one are you? Do you love things or do you love people?
I love people. I love things. I love things people bring. I love things I bring for people. I love it all.
You love everything. Hey.
I could say I don't love things, but there are things I love my truck.
All right.
But then I love the people who fix it.
Right.
So I think I'm sorry, I can't say I love one thing more than the other. I'm materialistic.
Well, I like to believe that I love people more than I love things.
You do.
But I don't love people around me all the time. I'm not like, I need people. I enjoy seeing people being themselves.
And happy.
Yeah. Creating their life. Did I mention that I had dinner with my sisters?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I had dinner with my sisters last night, and it was fun, and listening to them and hearing what's going on in their lives and stuff. It was great to catch up with them. And I'm telling you, I said, you know what? I'll keep my life. A lot of times you see other people and you go, hey, they look like them having fun, and you go, you know what? I'll keep my life, I'll keep my stuff. But guess what? I love the opportunity to talk to people, to listen and understand what their circumstances are. I'm able to give them 100% of my attention when we have these conversations, and understand, read between the lines. If you listen carefully, you'll understand the needs and desires of each person. If you ask the right questions, you can help them to find their way, to figure out what is truly important to them. If you're listening this morning and you're needing help, you can call us. Again, it's 866-2171. So Vanya, I said, love people, use things, use your home. And I know there are people who have beautiful homes that they've spent years taking care of. But today, that home may no longer serve you. As much as you love it, it may be just a little bit too much work, a little bit too much frustration. Good morning, Mr. Murray. I know you want to get out of that house and get rid of some of that work.
We're coming soon.
Looking forward to wrapping it up. We're going to probably come down this morning. But, you know, guys, if you're out there, if you want to call in.
But just using that as an example,
Yeah.
I would like to talk a little bit about the transaction. The transaction has been going on since July of last year. And most people would have kind of just called it a day and given up. I couldn't give up because they didn't give up.
Right.
And, you know, we kept making one plan, and it happens. Life happens. We would go in one direction and something else would go wrong. When we got down to the final stages, it turns out that the pool has no screen. And without the screen, FHA loan would never go through. You
Right.
can't even bind insurance.
Yeah.
And you know what? We contacted the buyers, we contacted the sellers, and they're doing what they can. And finally, you know, we just got up and we took our crew and we just reached to the property and helped them to go
Well,
there.
you know, one of the things that they felt was very innovative is that the going over the pool to fix the screen, all the guys who came said they can't do it.
Or they were charging way extra money.
Right.
Yeah, and we've got the tall ladder. I mean, the thing.
We built a platform
a
and created support to put a ladder over the pool. It seems simple, but Mr. Murray said several people came to look at the screen and they couldn't take the job because they couldn't get over the pool.
Yeah, but the point here is that.
No, the point is that we figured out how to get over the pool. Give me some credit.
That's what I'm trying to
Say,
say.
honey, you're
Let
so
me
bright.
speak. That when it comes down to these situations to, you know, get a transaction to closing, that it was a no-brainer. Not at one point I was like, you know, well, I don't know, this is your problem. Go figure a way out how to get this screen done.
Yeah.
We contacted the crew. We got there, got very resourceful, made the plank, whatever it is, and 3 full days. This guy worked, you know, he works with us on all these projects. And the reason I'm bringing that up is many times because of situations like this, one thing leads to other and to the other and to the other, and people start thinking, this is over. I have to sell this house away, or it needs way too much work. All it needed was, you know, a creative thinking to get that plank going and because at one point I felt, you know, what if we just remove everything, just take the screen out and take the frame out? And that was my thought, that keep it simple. But the frame was so solid, and it was just the screen. And this is just an example, guys. These are the things we go through on daily basis, and we have the experience on how to handle them.
Yeah.
But there are so many people who I'm not promoting, we'll come fix your house. What I'm trying to say is that through these challenges, one after the other, I see so many times that a beautiful house starts getting run down. And that's what tempts these investors to come and go, say, oh, well, you know, and then the homeowner may be struggling for other reasons, that maybe that is why they can't even get it fully fixed. And, oh yeah, you can just get rid of it. You can sell it for, I'll give you this much today, this cash, and you can walk away. Guys, if you have a piece of real estate right now in Florida, especially in the Tri-County area, all the way up to Port St. Lucie, I don't care what kind of real estate it is, even if it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, you have a golden asset. Not only in a way that it can provide so much security, but even if it's not serving you today, it can lead you to something else that can be the perfect match for your lifestyle.
Right.
Do not give away your houses because of legal issues or cities harassing you or things like this. Reach out to us. There are so many highly productive, profitable solutions. I've seen so much of the money being just given away, you know, in these transactions. Like I sold it for 200,000 or 210. No.
Well, there's also another part of this transaction that I found very interesting, and maybe it's something educational for people listening. What is an arm's length transaction? So in the industry, over the years, the industry has recognized that when when two people who are related do a real estate transaction, that there's a different type of dynamic that occurs. That a lot of times those lead to higher risk loans. Meaning, if the parents sell the house to the kids for a significant discount, in many cases the kids don't always take on that responsibility properly. So that's called a non-arm's length transaction, right? That there's something besides two individuals who don't know each other coming to buy.
Typically, prices are slashed down quite a lot.
Right.
And, yeah, so...
But there's also the question as to, are they really related? Because sometimes it may be that people know each other through, past family friends, and there's no direct relationship. And more importantly, there is an arm's length transaction because there's nothing else going on. There's no other agreements going on. Just a term that I thought, anybody out there, if you're doing a real estate transaction with your family, be very careful to understand.
Call us, discuss with us so we can help you structure, because that was an issue which was it was
It's an issue, non-issue.
The underwriters completely understood that, and they said, yeah, this is perfectly fine. But again, those are the little technicalities, and I am determined to close that deal, even though it's been going on from July. I know that this is the month we're going to wrap this up. There are many such stories, guys, that, the ones we are able to jump in and everybody walks away happy, that number is a lot lower than people who are not able to figure out what to do. And, by the time they reached us, it's been, it's a little late. But the point of coming every Saturday and sharing these stories is that start talking to people. And you guys are, because the calls I get, most calls I get are not people who directly listen to the show.
That is definitely very...
Somebody is listening and
telling really, a friend.
Relates it to somebody who may be, in such situation.
I'm going to say that a lot of times it's a young person who calls us who is, young, they just came into town, and they said somebody else gave them their number, usually an older person who listens to WAVS, and we want to respect, uplift, and give thanks for all of those.
Now it's mixed, though, because a lot of young audience have joined WAVS.
Okay.
Yes, congratulations, WAVS.
All right, good. So Vanya, we're talking about real estate investing. I'm going to give you the key to successful real estate investment in less than 2 minutes.
Okay.
And this is worth $20,000. Okay? Real estate is all about the equity, the difference between what you can sell it for versus what you can buy it for, and the repair costs, that you have to understand the repair costs.
Yep.
For 90% of the people listening to this show right now, their concern is, I don't know how to fix a house. Maybe I know how to fix, the plumbing. Maybe I know how to do the electrical. But if there's a roof issue, I have to go to somebody else. The advantage that investors have is that, number one, they have the confidence in being able to figure out the problem and taking on a challenge and knowing they'll figure it out. Unfortunately, many times they figure it out at the expense of the end user.
Absolutely.
Meaning, they're going to make sure they buy as low as possible. So, for example, you may have a house out there and they come and say, I'll give you $250,000 for it. You might go, that's great. I don't have to take on the headache. I'm going to just get rid of the house. But they have a plan. They agree to $250 and they get you into a contract. Now they go in and they start doing their inspections and they start doing their negotiations, and they're coming back to tell you what all the problems are. So they start working that $250 down, and maybe in the end you get $180,000. This is the strategy across the board. This
no
is
matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just what it is.
Now, the alternative is to address the problems properly. To not just, I was going to use a term, bitch up the house. Not just patch up the house. Not just, gloss over the rotted wood and the things so that you can get past where you are. Instead, do the proper repairs, bring that property back into its prime position. Do the upgrades that need to be upgraded. Do the remodeling that need to be remodeling. Bring that house back to the market for the end user. Who is the end user? That's the general buyer who is going to move into that house, pay full price for that house, and enjoy that house, send us referrals, and keep the community growing. That is the way that we are encouraging people to approach real estate as an investment, and to let us assist them in getting the most out of their real estate investment. We're doing this through joint venture agreements.
Because many times homeowners may not have access to that cash.
Yeah.
As much as they know, if I could just fix this bathroom or I could just change the kitchen, it would give me the top dollar. They may not have access to like upfront cash. It's all tied into the property.
And getting it done at the right price.
At the right price.
They may say, look, I can spend the $30,000 for a new roof, but what if the investor was coming, or what if people like us were coming in and we could get you that same roof for $15,000? And that's the way the people who are in the industry know how to get things done at a lower price and how to keep it moving. And that's where the people who don't have the experience are fearful, and they kind of sit on the sideline worrying.
It's fair enough, because, homeowners, most of them are not realtors or investors. They're doing something else for a living.
Absolutely.
And this is not something that they want to be involved in or even have a lot of, experience in.
And that's why they're willing to pay $20,000 to learn.
To learn. Oh, I thought... Okay, you should start that school for sure. But the absolutely what happened. The people I meet, they know exactly what needs to be done, but most times they just do not have access to those funds.
Right.
They have a lot of equity in the property, and one more thing, the investors reach out to you when they know you have all that equity. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting those calls, the sharks are looking. Be very careful, because they know everything is public information. They know a lot more than you do.
Absolutely.
So that's a good sign. But then they feel like, okay, I met a homeowner, and that they said, I'm getting letters that it's worth about $450. I know mine may not be that much because mine needs some work.
Right.
But if an investor came and gave me, because I owe like $160,000,
right.
If an investor came and gave me $260, I'll be happy.
Right.
And I couldn't, my heart broke, and I said, did you just hear? You something that could be $450, you're going to take $260 for it, right? $190,000 less, and just walk away. Even if you, at least I couldn't talk, and I'm like, but that doesn't make any sense.
Well, how do you think investors get rich? Why do you think there's so many people looking to get into fix and flipping?
The amount of, as a realtor, the amount of messages I get from these people to say, I'm not here to waste your time. My goal is to buy 3 flips this month. Send me anything you have. Straight, plain, no, nothing about the homeowner, nothing. It's just cold, like, okay, I'll work with the homeowner if they're having a problem. In that case, though, I was able to talk to them. And, when I started looking at exactly what needed to be done to bring it up to the whole mark, it was doable.
Sure.
And through the joint venture.
You keep saying about the money. Mm-hmm. Where's another part? The people to do the work. There are a lot of
There's
people
so many factors.
who if anybody out there want to call in and share, my phone number is 954-394-9045. That's my cell phone. The cell phone allows me to take you straight on the air, and you can, share your thoughts on this. I have gotten so many calls from people who have found a handyman who was going to help them out, and the job is not finished. The handyman is nowhere around. The repairs are left undone. We see these things all the time. So it's money. You need the money.
And the labor.
But you need not just the labor. You just need skilled labor. We went to Home Depot down in Miami to pick up the supplies to fix up this house. Each day we went there at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. There were at least 30 to 50 guys hanging out on the street corner. They're laborers. The labor is there, but they don't have the skills to actually get the job done, to make sure it pass, that they don't have a fire, that you don't have things breaking down, plumbing leaking after.
And sometimes permits and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're listening this morning and you're trying to figure out what are these guys talking about, we're talking about real estate as an investment. We're talking about you as a homeowner being able to get the most out of your real estate. If you're having some problems, if you have a family member that passed away and there's a property there sitting empty, but there are some issues with it, give us a call. We can help you with the probate, the legal process of getting that property into the heir's name, meaning the surviving spouse, the children, whoever is supposed to inherit that property. We'll assist you with that in terms of getting you the legal services. We'll work with you in terms of marketing that property. But most importantly, we want to help you make that property work for you. So what are your needs? Do you need somewhere to live? If you're sitting in a house right now, it's going into foreclosure, you have some repairs to do, you just don't know what to do because you don't have anywhere to go, let's have that conversation. I've seen Vanya do transactions where she's able to help the person sell the house, stay in that property, and then after they get the money from the sale of that house, be able to make arrangements to move. I'm giving out her secrets, but I'm giving them out because I know there's somebody listening that needs the motivation, that needs that reason to call us. 954-866-2171. I'll give you one of our great tips. She has thousands of them. Look at her, like a cat sitting there, that she knows everything.
No, if you just keep it to professional secrets, don't share any personal
other secrets. The Kama Sutra.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay, moving on. Moving on to...
Okay. Vanya is blushing. All right, so listen. 954-866-2171. I don't play more songs in my program because when I'm on Facebook deletes my songs saying I don't have the right to use them. So maybe John FX can give me some, rights or permission to using his work and I can play his songs. I know Michaelos and I have our song IBIUBU. We're going to get that one going again. But if you're listening this morning and you're wondering why they're just talking and they're not playing any music, it's because we have a lot to say and we feel it's important that you understand that we're here to help you. The most important thing you could do is reach out to us directly. The phone number is 954-866-2171. That's 954-866-2171. We can talk, but you're not going to see the value. Maybe you think you learned something so you can run out and call a realtor friend and get it done. I promise you, there's so much more that we can do for you.
Especially in this market, there are so many intricacies in every transaction. It's becoming almost like every deal that I'm working with, it's writing a PhD all over again. And one of the things that I feel that I feel good about, I feel we're very lucky. We work with lots of wholesalers, as I had mentioned before in the show, in other shows. So you're not committing yourself to a particular bank and dealing with what they want and what they can offer. Because of us,
I think it's important for us to clarify that a little bit more. That you may be sitting there saying, I have a bank, my bank that I paying my mortgage to for the last 8 years. That's my bank. That's my mortgage company. Just think about it. Do they really support you? Are they helping you with your escrows and your taxes and your insurance? Are they really supporting you? I promise you, you're just dealing with a servicing company.
You're a number for them.
Absolutely. They don't know you and they don't care about
and the
you.
situation, because Dax, so many times if you come for a refinance, there's a lot, they love their home.
Yeah.
They know that if they could access the equity that's stuck in the house, they could get rid of so many issues.
Right.
And they contact their banks, and the bank is not willing to do anything. When they contact us, we're able to figure out how we can bring a family member into the situation, what can be done.
Find a solution.
But yeah, and so the point I was making is
No. I'm going to stop you again. You're talking about the fact that they can apply with their bank, but after you apply with your bank, even if you apply with us, you're not stuck with us and one bank.
That's what I was saying.
Exactly.
As a wholesaler, and that the fact that we've been working in this business for so long, most wholesalers know wire funding as a solid company with the kind of volumes we turn.
That word wholesaler, though, I think people are confused. What is a?
These are. Let me just.
The banks,
yes,
the lenders.
The lenders that's not a Chase that you walk in and put your money in. These guys are in the industry simply to lend money for real estate. That is what they do. So think about it. When you want to go buy, a car, you don't go to Publix to buy a car. You go to a car dealership because that's where you'll find the car or whatever, automobile you're looking for. When you're going to your bank, they're into so many other things versus specifically targeting real estate funding. You'll see signs over there, oh, we can get you a loan at 2%. But that's not their primary thing. They make their money based off of you guys putting money and doing transactions and then, leveraging that money, not by lending money on real estate. When you work through the brokers like us and we work with these wholesalers, this is now you're going to a customized place that is developed, designed, funded for one purpose only, which is to give you real estate loan. That doesn't mean that they can break the rules and change the rules, and rules are rules. The Fannie Mae, FHA, they all have their rules. Now, the next step, what happens is that when you're dealing with underwriters, how do the underwriters handle a particular file? How willing they are to work on the file, or, how willing they are to say, okay, I don't want to break the rules here, but I'm willing to give you a chance. I'm willing to educate you that, hey, broker, if this could be done this way, absolutely this file has a chance. That is where I can sit here confidently and tell you that because of doing this so long, consistently with the most prominent wholesalers that are out there, when, 2 days ago, we were trying to close on a refinance, and I asked the rep, hey, can you try to push it? They were supposed to close last Monday.
Right.
And, but there's a queue. You have to wait your turn. So we were going to fall on a Wednesday. I said to him, could you try for Monday? And he said, for refis, they don't allow any exceptions for the rush.
Right.
And then 5 seconds later, he texted, but when it comes to wire funding, rules don't matter about the rush. And I was laughing. And sure enough, we closed the deal on Monday. And because the homeowner was traveling, they needed their funds at a certain time. Those are just simple little things, guys, that can make a huge difference when you are involved in one of the biggest transactions you'll do in your life.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you. And, as you said, there is so many intricacies to a real estate transaction. Things like the person is in New York buying a place in Florida. Is that possible? Absolutely. Is there a process and a lot of things you have to take into consideration? Absolutely. And that's why we have a team. Somebody called and said, I wanted to come into your office. And I said, we don't have an office. We work virtually. But guess what? We're there all the time. You can text us. You can reach out to us all the time. We'll get right back to you. We'll follow up with you. We'll continually support you to get to where you need to get to, because that's the world we live in now. We need to be able to connect you to the right lenders, the right wholesalers, but we also need to guide you through all of the intricacies from making that deposit on the place, getting the inspections done, making sure that you're staying within that contract for the second deposit, making sure that the title work is done, helping you with the association
Insurance.
application, finding an insurance agent that's going to be able to discuss your options, helping you to set up your escrow account, get your closing in line, get all of these things
And then
done.
after the transaction has
Absolutely.
closed,
Yeah.
the amount of, information that you're flooded with and you have no idea what to, imagine you've just bought first time, your first home, and typically this is the letter. This is very time sensitive. And if you don't reply in 3 days, you will have a lot of issues with your deed.
Yeah.
All they're doing is the deed that the title company has already prepared and recorded. They want to charge you to get you a copy, which is available for free online. So again, those are things that, the purpose of all of this is to help you feel comfortable, not be nervous, and confident that as long as I am in this market doing this business, I will see to it for people who contact me that they do not take a loss in real estate. That's my commitment, and I take it very personally.
I know, but remember though that at the end of the day, we cannot get you approved because we are super, that Vanya is going to work so hard to get you approved. You're going to get approved based on your situation, your ability to qualify. But we're going to guide you through that entire process to let you know as the quickest way to get your credit score up, the quickest way to be able to establish the income, helping you to understand why and exactly how much money you're going to need for your down payment, but more importantly, deal with the issues that come up throughout that process. It would be great if we could all write the real estate book and then everybody could read the book and get their real estate transaction done. The reality is that every single transaction is different. Why? Because the transactions are all based on people. That different people have different agendas at different times. Something as simple as saying, we need to close on Monday rather than Wednesday. What's the big deal? You can't wait 2 days? No, my client has a flight booked and an appointment to go somewhere. And if I ask her to not go, it's going to mess up her business. If she's gone, then Wednesday's no use. How do we close on Wednesday when the person is not even here? And thank God we have people who respect our relationship with them, are willing to bend over backwards and make these allowances. And that's what it is to have these relationships. We don't get there overnight. We get them over years and years of working hard. And that particular guy, he loves Vanya so much. He's always ready to help her. And then sometimes his company gets the rates high or starts doing things that are not supporting our clients and getting the closings. And Vanya says, sorry, she's got to move the business somewhere else. And he is so heartbroken. He's so distressed, but he understands. And
he's like my little brother. Yeah. It reminds me of we met during COVID.
Right.
That's when we started working with them, and this kind of personal relationship is so critical when I'm bringing my client's transactions. He's not going to break any rule or anything, but he's going to certainly try to. The amount of knowledge that we get through each transaction, because there are so many. Like sometimes we actually find the rule and show it to them to say, hey, did you read this? You may have missed it. You can go to your bank and say...
So back when we were talking about an arm's length transaction, the question is, what is a relative? Is a grandparent's niece a relative?
Who's not even buying. It's a great grandnephew.
Right. But what is a relative? A relative is a mother, father, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, grandparents. That's pretty much it. Everybody else, every second, third cousin is not a relative, and therefore you don't have to worry about that. So you might feel so close to this person, they've been in your life, but they're not related, and therefore you do not have to disclose that as a non-arm's length transaction.
One of the challenges I have is that Jamaica is a very small country. So a lot of times people are related like that to
Right.
each other. So if this just everybody knows.
If they're not related, they know somebody who
Yeah.
knows somebody who
And
knows somebody.
you have that
so-
last name. But I see the last name, and if I'm like, okay, hold on, I just don't want anything to.
So recently, Vanya has been meeting people who's been telling them that somebody else, when she met the person, she's dealing with them directly. But 2 weeks later, she'll get a call and she said, my aunt told me that you are the person who helped her to get her house, and she's so glad that we're working with you, and she's so proud of having that recognition. So congratulations.
Thank you. So yeah, because it's a very close, very. I don't want to use the word small, but compared to India, I think I'll get a pass because for us to find relation, it's a big deal.
Right.
Be careful, guys, because Dax is right. While you may think there is a relation or there's a half brother who's related, and and you guys are very close, the lender has certain specific guidelines as to what they call an arm's length or a non-arm's length transaction.
So it's funny. We were taking a client to the bank the other day, and we were talking. So she's Jamaican and she's Indian from Jamaica. So when Vanya said she's going to India, she said, you know my family. And she said she knew a friend who's from India, but it was like, in Jamaica you could call a name and maybe you say those people, but India is so huge for her to be able to say, yeah, I know of that family name or anything. It was just...
It is massive over there.
All right, it's 8:44. At 8:45, I'm going to get a call, Vanya. It's from Paarl. Paarl is a friend. I met her on TikTok. She's actually living in Japan. And we actually never spoke before. We're going to speak for the first time. So I'm looking forward to calling the next minute. Anything you want to talk about before she comes on, and then hopefully, we'll have a little time.
Quickly. I want to congratulate Mr. Hutton. COVID was at its peak. Things were so gloomy. He came out and he said, I have to buy a house. And, I can wear a mask and gloves. Let's go do it. And I said, okay, if you can, so can I. We went and we found a property. I'll never forget this deal. The owner wanted additional $8,000 over the appraised value because he said that's what he thinks his house is worth. We had long discussions, and at the end of the day, he said, I'll deal with it. I will go ahead and pay. Today, that property has appraised $210,000 more than what we got it for in 2020.
Excellent.
Even though there was that 8,000 that was just so, it bothered us, all of us, me, him, but it was not an easy decision.
What was the 8,000?
He wanted over the appraised value. Because,
okay. So he was buying a house, and at the time the market said, look,
the rates was at that place and a lot going, and he was like, oh, good, but I want, if it appraised for example, 210, I want 218. And that's the only way I'll give it to you. We walked away twice, came back, and finally decided. And I said, Mr. Hutton, this is gonna pay back. And now it's paid back. So we got the appraisal yesterday. So again, congratulations. Another proof. Real estate continues to be the hedge against inflation, guys. He said to me that 8,000, if I'd left in the bank in 4 years, I would have either used it or it would be just sitting there as the same amount. But I'm glad I was like, yeah, not that I'm encouraging, it's just different situation.
And that is the point. That is the point. That there are people who have these rules. I'll never pay full price. Okay, you may never pay full price, but are you going to get any house? Are you going to get into any contract? And there are people who pay full price for things that don't have the value. It is really subjective. And we want to encourage you to get the advice, not just from one person, not just Vanya, not just myself, but our team of expert advisors that we work with. We do not know everything, but we have everything covered because we have a team of experts who they don't one of the attorneys we're working with, Sar, took the time to go ahead and work on the JV agreement and make some put some input in terms of making the,
and it was accepted, his first agreement.
Yeah. And then she said, look, I'm going to run it by the bar. She actually took his contract that he created, sent it to the Bar Association. They came back and said, this is perfectly fine. So this is what we're doing. This is what we want to encourage you to take advantage of. The phone number again, 954-866-2171. Again, that's 954-866-2171. Paarl, call in. I'm waiting. What else? What else?
SARS agreement was accepted.
Right. Here
Here
we go.
Here's the call.
Hi, Paarl. Good morning. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How are you? Hello?
Hello, Dax.
Hi. Welcome. Thank you for calling in. So, Paarl, take a quick moment and introduce yourself. Where are you calling from? What you're doing there, and how is life?
I am calling from Japan, and life is good. It's chilly, but still good. Honestly, it is still good. I'm giving thanks.
All right. Where in Japan are you?
I am living in Tokyo.
Tokyo. Did you know that I went to Japan once, I went to Tokyo.
Where did you go?
I went to Tokyo. I went to Tokyo, and then I went around to Hiroshima. I went to Nagasaki. I went to Mount Fuji. I went to so many of the temples. But this is not about me. This is about you. Tell me about you. What are you doing in Japan?
Well, for my time here in Japan, I have been teaching English to elementary school students, but recently I have been writing books.
All
And
right.
the first one has been a poetry book.
Tell me about the book. Well, first of all, how long have you been in Japan now?
I have been in Japan for about 5 years now.
5 years. Okay, so you speak Japanese fluently.
Sometimes I wish, but no, I don't.
All right. Give us a greeting in Japanese.
Konnichiwa. Ohayo gozaimasu.
All right.
You definitely have that accent. It's cute.
Thank you.
All right. So tell me about the book, a poetry book. What's the name of the poetry book?
The book is called How We Love and How We Grieve, Poems of You and Me by me, Educo Paarl. And it's about love and grief, as the title said, because it was actually inspired by a few losses that I experienced, because before coming here to Japan, my older sister had actually passed away. She had lupus. And because she passed away, I was at home, and one of my friends were visiting home, and I wasn't working at the time, so my friend actually signed up for me to come here to Japan, because my friend was actually gonna move to Japan like the next month. So it was, my sister passed away in August. She would have come over in October. So during that time period in September, she applied for me to come here to Japan, and that's how I actually came here.
Okay.
So that has been a very influencing factor in my life, doing major things. And then when my mother passed away in 2021 from COVID, and then an important relationship of mine ended, I actually got depressed about a lot of things and turned to writing as a way to just help me mentally and to express some of the challenging things that was taking place inside of me.
Well, a lot of times out of a negative comes a positive, because the energy that I see you expressing on TikTok is so positive, so full of love and genuine. That when you're on the streets talking to Japanese people, introducing your book to them, and just sharing with your audience, I definitely feel that vibe and that love. So you have taken negative experiences and you're making them into positives. How could somebody listening this morning who wants to get a copy of your book reach out to you? They can either reach out to me on TikTok, just like how you have as well, Dax, by Educo Paarl, because I use the same name on Instagram, and I do have a website that I have been creating recently myself. So it's Educo Paarl. No. Go ahead. You said 3 times, but I don't. Educo Paarl. Say it slowly. Yes, Educo Paarl. Spell it. EDUCO. Educo.
Okay.
And then Paarl. PAARL.
Okay. EDUCOPAARL. That's the handle, guys. On
Yes.
Instagram or TikTok, if you're interested.
All right, so I'm going to actually, send me the link, and if anybody out there listening and want to get the link to
we
get
can
the
text
book,
it. Exactly.
We can text it to you directly. The phone number for us is 954-866-21. We'll give that number later. But so, Paarl, is that a name you use?
Yes, it is my pen name.
Okay, the Paarl.
Yes.
Why you seem so shy about it?
Oh, you pick up on my energy so good, Dax.
Oh, that's him.
Don't be shy. Tell me about the Paarl.
Well, living here in Japan has been a major influence of mine. So since living here, I have started reading a lot more books, and because of, do you know Jim Rohn?
Yes, Jim Rohn, yes.
Yes, Jim Rohn is one of my favorite motivational speakers. So the Paarl is actually inspired by Jim Rohn, and then Educo is from reading a next book. I found the name and I just loved it, and I thought it would actually be very inspirational because it just means bring forth from within.
Excellent.
So bring forth from within the philosophy, the attitude, the activity, the results, and the lifestyle.
Love it. Just like IBI, you be you.
Yes.
All right, there you go. Well, listen, we are going to have a few more conversations. We're out of time. We finish up here at 8:56, so we're going to have to let you go, but it's been a pleasure. Give out anything else you want people to know about you. How would you find you on TikTok? What's your handle on TikTok? Is it the same one you said? Educo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right.
So it's EDUCOPAARL.
Correct?
Yes, it is. That's correct.
All right, wonderful. Thank you for taking the
Thank
time.
you.
And what time is it over there in Japan now?
Right now, it's almost 11 p.m.
Yeah.
All right, well, go get some
like
sleep.
India.
Are you going out on the road now? You're going to go party?
No. Tomorrow night.
All right, good. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much, Paarl, and I look forward to catching up with you more. Stay well.
Bless up, Dax. And who's your co-host again? I didn't catch your name properly.
Vanya. Sorry about I don't have no manners. Vanya Chopra is my wife, and this Vanya meet Paarl, and yes.
Nice to meet you, and hope to see you in person one day.
I was listening to the chemistry, and the chemistry was very good, so now I understand it.
Yeah.
Bless up yourself, and it's nice to meet you.
Give thanks.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
All right, we'll catch up soon. Stay well.
Take care.
All right, take care.
Give thanks. There you go, Paarl, calling in. It's just you get that energy from somebody. You know, we've been online. She was telling me to buy her book, and I thought, you know what, I can do one better. I think that there are lots of people who listening this morning would be interested to learn more. If you want to get information, if you didn't get the name, if you didn't get it down, you can send me a text, and I'll have my team. I don't have the information this minute, but send me a request at 954-866-2171. Say, tell me about the Paarl, tell me about the writer, and I'll just send you her link to her social media pages and to the page where you can buy that book. Vanya, it's 8:56. We're going to be finishing up now. Any last nuggets of information?
Well, it's not business related, but next week's show is going to come from my favorite place. We're going to be in North Carolina, guys.
Alrighty.
And make sure to tune in. I don't know how the weather is, but we're staying in this beautiful property, so I'll try to capture some,
Yeah, we'll make some. Vanya also has a TikTok channel
and an Instagram, Vanya and Dax. You can check out a lot of work I do with my clients. I post videos about that over there. So if you want to see how I look, if you want to see, a lot of glimpses of the work we do, different kinds of things that we work with our clients on in this business, check out the Instagram channel. And it's the same name for TikTok as well. But I try to keep it light and fun. So, definitely go ahead and check it out.
All right, 954-866-2171. Again, that's 954-866-2171. I apologize, that's my phone taking over the show. 954-866-2171. I'm going to close out the show with John FX again. I really love
a nice
that song.
I like
Maybe
it.
TikTok will Facebook won't delete it, but here we go again. Yeah, man. Rude Boy. Oh no, different song came up. Sorry. Let's go. Come on. Rude Boy. Yeah, man. All the rude boys out there, stay well, give thanks. Have a blessed day. Big up yourself.